Majora's Mask has always been the black sheep of the Legend of Zelda. Perhaps it's because the weird and sometimes off-putting location of Termina, a land unlike Hyrule, or it could be because of the odd mechanics we would never see again in Zelda games. That being said, Majora's Mask might be different in more ways than just mechanics. Today we'll be looking at a pretty controversial theory. Let's talk about how Majora's Mask embodies the 5 stages of grief. Before we begin, we would like to ask you, dear viewer, to keep an open mind. What we're about to talk about is just a theory and in no way officially endorsed by Nintendo. As always, don't forget to subscribe to TheGamer for more exciting gaming content and ring that bell to become part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, this is what Majora's Mask teaches us about grief. Number 1. Denial. When something bad happens to us, the first thing that goes through our minds is, this is not happening. For some, we try to forget that our lives will not be the same after this point in time, even if it's just for a short moment. In denial, the griever will reject what's happening to them and attempt to return to a state of normalcy before their loss began. Link's personal grief began in the beginning of the game, where he lost his longtime companion Navi, and he hopes that one day he will see her again, but there's a real possibility he'll never find her. Link's journey takes him to Termina, and from this point on, either Link or the characters around him will experience grief in some form or another. The people of Termina are doomed if Link does not act. Above them, the moon threatens to come crashing down over them. While the moon can clearly be seen in the sky above the town, the people of Clocktown go about their day maintaining appointments and schedules, all while their doom lies above. The mayor of Clocktown is in a heated debate with the people planning the festival. One side wants to go forward with the celebration while the other wants to flee. In the end, there's only one person left on the final day of the game, when the moon is about to come crashing down, sticking to his guns in the face of overwhelming evidence that the world is about to come to an end. Number 2. Anger. When we're confronted with loss and the denial subsides, the stage most likely to follow is anger. Human beings at their core are physical beings with very chimerical senses. We want what we can see, feel, and touch, and we want our problems to manifest in some sort of physical form so we can accept it easier. We often will want to lash out at something or someone because it's easier to vilify something outwardly rather than look in and resolve the issues we have within ourselves. Yeah, we're getting deep on TheGamer today. Anger is also irrational. Sometimes it's justified, sometimes not. But we've all seen someone we care about get angry. When we let anger consume us and let aggression rule us, it can lead us to do very bad things. In Woodfall Palace, the Deku King is angry at the monkey because he's the cause for the disappearance of his daughter. While the monkey maintains his innocence, the king and his court will have none of it. He's blinded by his anger and the loss of his daughter and will stop at nothing until he sees the monkey punished for his perceived crimes. That's why it's up to us, or Link rather, to help get the princess and prove the monkey innocent because the king is beyond reason at this point. At the very end of the day, that's what anger is, a state beyond reason where we'll take all the pent-up rage we have at this loss and project it into the physical world in order to alleviate the pain, if only for a little bit. Number 3. Bargaining. When all the anger is left and we have no one else to blame for our loss, we'll often do anything to try and return back to normalcy. Have you ever lost someone close to you, whether it be a friend, a family member, or someone else, and think, I would give anything to see them again? It's a move out of desperation. We're often unwilling to accept the permanence of loss, and we'll often find ways to try and claw at anything to get it back. Majora's Mask knows a little thing about bargaining. Snowhead, the land of the Gorons, is being cursed with a spell of eternal frost. The hero of the Gorons, Darmani, beckons Link back to his grave. Once there, he tells Link he cannot accept the fact that he's dead, not when his people need him now more than ever. Of course, Darmani is in the first stages of loss and can't accept the fact that he's dead. However, rather than skip to anger, he instead bargains with Link, pleads with him to save his people with his aid. He agrees that if he lends Link whatever power he has left, he will save his dying people. Darmani is the hero of the Gorons. His people looked up to him in their time of need, but when they needed him the most, he died. To try to do right by them, he's willing to go to any length, even if that means giving what little he has left to a willing stranger to save them. Number 4. Depression. While Darmani can bargain for the remainder of his life to save the people he cares about, we can't do the same. We can plead and bargain all we want, but the fact still remains nothing will ever be the same. This fact, coupled with the feeling of dread, can bring on serious depression. The isolation we may feel and the helplessness we experience through loss can leave us lost and apathetic, and even cut us off from the people who are still around us and care about us. In Majora's Mask, the Great Bay is suspiciously murky and warm, and we see Mako pass away before our eyes. We We see the Zoras are preparing for the Festival of Time, but the lead singer of the main band, Lulu, has gone mute out of grief. Not only has Mako died, but her babies have been taken from her by the Gerudo pirates. The forced separation of a mother from her babies can be a devastating blow, something which unfortunately happens all too often in the real world. Powerless to get them back on her own, Lulu sequesters herself and stares out into the ocean, hoping a miracle will happen and they will return to her because she doesn't know what else she'll do next if she can't see them again. Of course, we can help reunite Lulu with her newborns and help her see her way back to normalcy. Number 5. Acceptance. We have seen what has happened before us. At first, we have denied what was happening and tried to convince ourselves it wasn't happening. When we couldn't deny it any longer, we lashed out in anger and cursed anyone and anything that we could shift the blame on. When all the anger left, all we could do was plead desperately for things to go back to the way they were. Of course they didn't, and it made us feel weak. It made us feel like we were powerless to stop what was happening and there was nothing we could do. Of course, this comes to pass and eventually we come to terms with it and accept it, hopefully leading to a happier life. Oddly enough, Link's journey concludes in the land of the dead, where he obtains the light arrows and the elegy of emptiness, a melody which forces Link to confront something he was not entirely aware of, his own emptiness. He began this journey trying to get Navi back, and this entire time Link felt that some part of him was missing. With this last part, we learn he was missing the honesty to confront himself. He's seen people in his travels deny reality, go into fits of rage at what they don't understand, sacrifice all they have to save the ones they love, and cut themselves off from the people they love. Through all of this, Link at the very last trial is forced to look at his own emptiness and complete his journey through grief and loss. Now, some people may have gone a step further to say acceptance took the form of this fierce deity, a being powerful enough to take on the terror that is Majora, but there is little evidence for this. Does the Majora's Mask grief theory hold up? Some would say no, because the stages of grief model are supposed to happen to the subject, and Link sees this happen to people around him, and not to Link himself. Others have speculated this could coincide with the Link is dead theory, where Termina and all its inhabitants are just delusions Link is having while he's dying. However, this theory does not hold up when you consider Termina is a real place according to the official Hyrule Historia and on the Zelda timeline. So yes, Termina is real and the event there really did happen. At the end of the day, we'll leave it up to you, dear viewer, to decide whether you accept this theory or not. Either way, we'd love to hear what you have to say about this theory in the comments down below. And there you have it, the Majora's Mask grief theory. Do you agree with this theory or not? What other theories in gaming would you like us to cover? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to TheGamer for more exciting gaming content. Thanks for watching.